Welcome to this week's Inside the Newsroom. I'm Gyllenhaal, the Herald's executive editor. Today I wanted to share the story of how a brand new comic strip, a newspaper franchise if ever there was one, came to life and is now headed for our comics page on Monday. 5 years ago, Gene Weingarten, one of the nation's finest writers and editors who once worked at the Herald, got into an argument with his son, Dan, who was then a college dropout living at home and going through a troubled stretch. The two started debating about what makes for a good comic, and Dan stomped away, only to return a few minutes later. As Gene tells the story, quote, he came back in about 3 minutes and he said, "You know what would make a good idea for a comic strip? Something about a billionaire and a bum, a homeless man." Then he walked out of there. I went over to the calendar and circled the date. It was the genesis of Barney and Clyde. Barney and Clyde is the best new comic strip to come along in years. It will join Pickles on our comics page, replacing Get Fuzzy, Grand Avenue, and Pearls Before Swine, all of which scored at the bottom of a recent ranking of readers. Pearls will continue to run on Sunday. Changing to comics has always been one of the trickiest decisions in the newspaper business because there are some readers who love every comic and most of us can't believe that others see things differently. But it's important to keep fresh new work coming in and one of the most popular features that we have. Gene Weingarten, who worked at the Post as an editor and a writer for the past 20 years, brings true creativity and humor to his work. A winner of 2 Pulitzer Prizes, he's worked on books and movies along with the syndicated column that he writes for the Post. And he has always loved the comics, so when his son threw out this idea, Gene was certain they had a winning thought. It took years to develop the strip, settle on cartoonist David Clark, bring the comics to the market, and sell the first few papers to sign up, which are the Herald, the Washington Post, and the Chicago Tribune. Barney and Clyde, which will run in the Herald daily and Sunday, blends 2 very different worlds and finds humor in a most unlikely friendship. Barney is a wealthy but anxiety-ridden businessman who runs into Clyde, a clever and unpredictable bum who couldn't be happier in life. We hope you'll like both of these new comics, and once again, thank you for your emails, letters, and phone calls, and thank you for reading the Miami Herald and for spending time here on MiamiHerald.com.